Now do they have to go off and get back on
Yes.
again? Sorry. He was trying to get the other camera hooked up.
Stupid crap that we have to deal with. So hopefully you all find us again. And I thought it said you could get back on to your stream, but it does not let me on it.
So we'll turn the camera this way for a few minutes until y'all come back on again. Because, I don't know. Trying to do that. So has anybody found us back on
No,
yet?
it's at 0. Sitting there waiting, probably. Nope, I can't get back into that. There's a few people coming back on.
Okay.
All right, so we had technical difficulties. Tried to get in on the other phone, and it all messed up. And
So George is on. At least I can connect for a minute. There we go. Well, at least you found us because we just went off the old one and came back on the new one. So sorry. So Lone Cowboy's back on and Slim Jim's back on. Group boot. Ken says, hey. Had wondering there for a second. Yeah. He was trying to connect the other phone and it said you had to, in the broadcast, to put that one on. But I don't know why. You have to send that one. I don't know. Lost connection from it. Yeah. But we're back. There's Lifer Nave 33. How are you doing? Daryl Dess says he's back now. Steven's on. Do you remember the Harley flathead, flathead painted gray with the U.S. Navy sub?
yes,
I saw
that
that.
sold yesterday.
That was the most interesting to this retired Navy guy. Yep. That was kind of cool. Any chance to be on the floor?
Yeah, maybe I'll walk down there with this camera and we'll see if it'll stay on. And but we can't record any of the actual auction because they're recording it. They're doing a live and all that kind of stuff. They got a bike now. It's only a little dirt bike. It's got $1,500 on it. So let me go see how this works. And I'll go down and walk around a little bit. I come around, I guess I'll take a soda or something.
All right. Alrighty, so I guess I'm going to sit here and I'll answer your guys' question while he's walking around and let you know, see what's going on down there. 120 days Siliconia Bike Week. How about that? 100th. That will be their 100th anniversary. Does Woody ever come down to the auction? He may have. Marilyn was here last year, who does all the bike shows and everything. So I don't know if he does or not. Last year he did have a bike here. Somebody that painted him a bike, they took it back up there and they auctioned that bike off. So I want to know how Ken's doing. How are you going? How are you doing? I bet is what it means. How does the auction house arrange delivery? I don't know, because you can either drop your bike off here or you can have it shipped here. And then I guess you'd have to go on their website, mecum.com, and they have all the information on there. So if you have a bike that you want to put in the auction, but I think what it is, I don't know if it costs to put the bike in the auction, but I know if the bike sells, it's a percent. I'm going to say 20%. I don't know. But the buyer and the seller both have to pay 20% or whatever the percentage is of what the bike goes for. So goes for 10,000, I guess then you get both the buyer and the seller both have to pay. It goes for 10,000, I guess 22,000 a piece. That's $4,000. So I don't know if you have to pay to put your bike in plus that fee. I don't know. I don't know how it works. And I know it costs, I think we talked to the girl yesterday, whatever she said, I think it's, I don't remember, $200 to get a bidder card. And then, but then if you buy something, you still have to pay whatever the percentage is if you buy something. There's the bidder guy, Jeff Wallace. How you doing, Jeff? How's Gloria? Jerry Schmidt's on. Crispy K's on. Mike says usually 15%. Okay. I knew it was a percent. I don't know why 20% stuck in my head, but I don't know. So there's some of the bikes that are down there on the floor. I don't know if those are the ones that are going up soon. And I can't see where he's at. I don't know. I was gonna kind of try to tell you where it was, but yeah, I think that's, I don't know. I have no idea where he's at. But those are the ones I guess that are coming up for today. Have you seen the professor yet? Who's the professor? Hey, there's Terry. 200 and to bid, and then 10%. Okay, so that's Terry, Penn State 100. He's actually coming on Thursday, and he got a bike last year, so he would know. So there you go. Uh, Doing well. Already got warm weather. That's great because I know it's still kind of cold here. Tell me about the David Mann. I don't know if he's found it yet, and we don't know when it's going to be auctioned off because we got to find it first, and then that on the tag it'll tell you what day it's going to be auctioned off. Don Payment, yep, he's up there. We haven't got to talk to him yet. Excited like a little kid in the candy store. Thank you for walking the floor, Bob. I know it's just so cool to come here to just see all these different bikes. The Mecum Guru, yes, John is. I know it's really cool just to be able to see all these bikes. You can touch them, and he says you can sit on them. I don't know. I don't know if I would sit on them. A lot of them are. Oh, that sidecar is disconnected. Uh, a lot of them have. This is the Mike Wolf collection here. Some of these bikes here. So, yep. Harley Frank says, hit the like button if you're on. So that'll tell you the years and what they are. Now, some of these still need to be restored unless you want them in original condition. So it just depends on what you want and what you're looking for. So, but they consider this an antique motorcycle auction. And it is in Vegas the last week in January. It has been the last couple years. So I'm assuming it's an annual thing, so they'll keep that. So if you see the little signs up on top, so that one's probably also, all these are Mike Wolf collection. So he must be down there on the other side. I gotta remember what he's got on. Okay, there he is. I see him now. So all these are Mike Wolf's also. Some of them he's restored somewhat. Some of them are just as he found them. So that's kind of cool. It's very smoky in here. Ooh. I won't be able to breathe tonight. You're liking all those bikes? I don't know how to, I guess I could make it just on him and I could just talk to you. There's, I don't know if you can hear both of us or he's just showing you what year it is and what bikes. Some of those are gone. I wonder if some of those went on auction today. We'll have to, I can call maybe one of those guys that our contact person and see if we can find out any more about that David Mann bike. Crap Pink says Billy Lane works on a lot of his bikes. Well, that's cool. But yeah, it's just cool to come and see all these different bikes. Some I've never even heard of. And all the finds that people have. My grandpa had an old barn when I was a kid, and he had a bunch of junk up there. It's all gone now, but he did have an old Harley, one of those, I don't know what year it was. I'd probably say it was the early teens. Looked like more like a bicycle than a motorcycle. But like I said, those are all long gone. So I don't know who got all that stuff when they cleaned out the barn. There's Chieftain Ghost Rider. He's from down south there. How are you doing with the weather down there? I know the you guys are having some bad weather in Texas and some of those southern states, Alabama, New Orleans. Hope you're all doing okay. There was a hurricane this morning in Southern California too. I think up in Malibu, a 4.7, and then the aftershock was a 5 point something. So it's kind of crazy. So yeah, yesterday there was very few bikes. I think Bob said there was 45 bikes that sold on the auction. And I've got the thing for today. I guess today they're going to sell or auction off 385. So they give you a little paper every day when you walk in, and it tells you all the bikes, what number they are, where they're selling them, and what they are. So yeah, let me see if I can find what the newest bike. Here's a 2004. It's HUSABERG. FC 400, no reserve. So that's a 2004. So I'm assuming that's a German bike. Sounds German to me. If there's anything newer, a 2000 I see, 2007 BMW R 1200S. 2017, that's a pretty new one. HUSQVARNA 390. That the 217? No, 2017. Okay, is a Harley Davidson XG 750 with no reserve. Most of them are in the 70s. There's quite a few in the 60s. Just a few 2000s, not very many. Most of them are 60s and 70s. 2005. I was trying to see if I could find the oldest one. 1964. 72, 71. Yeah, most of these are all in the 60s. So the 2003 Aprilia, one of my friends had one of those. So yeah, most of them are supposed to be antiques. I think this is the thing he's walking up. This is all the bikes that are coming up next. They put them in this little hallway, and then there's a red carpet they put them up onto, and then so they've got them all lined up. So yesterday we saw them when we were leaving. They were lining them all up, and they'll probably have the first, I don't know, 100 of them or so up there. It's cold and rainy there. That's good. Bob's got his hustle on. I know. When walking in here, I couldn't even keep up. Heard the earthquake was caused by Lizzo tripping on her carpet. I don't know. Seller 10%, buyer 10%. So the auction makes 20% on every bike sold. Higher percent if you bid online or over the phone. Okay, there you go. So that's Terry, and he knows because he's bidded. He comes and he actually buys stuff. He bought a bike last year. He's an Indian guy, but he ended up buying a Harley. So I guess he's on his way back up here, I'm assuming. He's walking up the steps. I want a punch mop like I had back in the day. Yep. Pooch, I don't know. Moped. Bob's mom and dad both had a moped after, wasn't too long after we got married. We lived in a little small town up in northern Illinois, and it was just easier to get around on a little moped. Hello from northern Ontario, 19 degrees. Burr, that's cold. I had a Sessions moped when I was 12. Yeah, Bob, the one he showed the other day, it looked a lot like his mom's. His mom had a yellow one, his dad had an orange one, or vice versa. An Orange County chopper, not a Harley, I bought. Oh, that's right. It was an Orange County. Yeah, that's true. I was just shocked it wasn't an Indian. But I think that's what he was looking for. But he ended up buying the Orange County chopper. They sold the built movie Mustang for close to $3 million. Wow. That's crazy. Crazy money. There's the Harley Davidson from the AC/DC guy. There it is there. It was in the video that he put out this morning too, I believe. So you could own a bike that Brian owned. I don't know if his family brought that up or the band. I don't know who he left it to. I believe he is no longer with us. He had a lawn boy Dad made for me, pushed around the yard. I had one of those too. I think it was a lawn boy. I don't know. It was an old push mower. I used that for a long time. That was my chores I had to do to get $5 a week. I had to mow the grass. Mine was candy apple red. Rode on that for 4 years, tons of miles. Yep. I know those little mopeds lasted a long time. I don't know how long his mom and dad had those. I don't remember. Seems like it was out in the shed there for a long time. She didn't ride it once she moved back down to southern Illinois. It was too big of a town. You couldn't really get around in it. Wouldn't want to ride that on the street. Take your life in your own hands. I was at the auction for the built car. Very awesome. Seen it in person. That's cool. And now he's someplace way. Oh, I guess those are the steps that go. That's all the bikes in the back. that are getting ready for auction. That'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday's auction. So they're all downstairs. So it's on the same floor the auction's on. We're on the second level. And then there's a bunch of five, $5 a week for mowing the grass. Yeah. We had a pretty big yard too. I don't know how big it was. And boy, it would take me a couple hours to mow it. My dad would get mad. He's like, you can't run with that thing. You got to walk with it because it didn't cut half the grass. And I'm like, you want me to mow it or not? But I'd have got in trouble. Hey, there's Neil's on. Everybody saying hi to Neil. How many acres is this? I don't know. It's pretty big because this is where they have the equestrian, the rodeos, and all the horse events back here also. So I'm assuming they just come down and throw in a bunch of dirt for the horses. I don't know. I would say like probably about as big as a hockey arena. That's what this section is on this side. Now the back section where they got all the bikes stored, probably the same size. I don't know. But it's kind of an oval shape where all the seating and stuff is. So I'd probably say the size of a hockey arena. That's what it reminds me of looking down there on it. The built Mustang, whoops, was driven to school by a school teacher for a few years in Tennessee. That's kind of cool. Hey Neil, your weather has been wandering away from you and it came down here. I think that too. And they said this week's not too bad. It's chilly, but it's not cold. But they said another cold front's coming down from the north. So man, Mecum holds a big auction. Yeah, I know. Is Frank Mecum there? I don't know. Frank's not, but we talked to a guy yesterday that they said he was part owner, and his name was Lee. He was the guy that talked about the finance. So when they said part owner, I don't know if it's the finance side or the Mecum auction side. I don't know. But that Lee guy said they said he was part owner. So sorry, I'm wiggling the table too much. Maybe as big as Sturgis Harley property. I don't know. It's hard to say. Because if you got some big vendor trucks in here, I don't know, maybe. Because there's an area that divides the two. So if you put it all together, it might be as big as the Harley, Black Hills Harley. We did get some more information on that. It sounds like it did, Harley did sell. He must have lost connection. There he goes. Now he's back. And I think that it all went through. Haven't heard from Mike yet. He's been on the road a lot, but I'll see if I can get a hold of him and we can verify that for sure. They're racing sprint cars indoors in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I know out in California, which I don't know why, they have a lot of indoor go-kart tracks, which I thought was kind of weird. I could see if you were somewhere where it rains all the time, but why would you do that out in California? I don't know. I watched the Mecum auction 2 years ago. Common bikes were going very cheap. You know, it's weird. Like when we were looking last year, we were trying to figure out prices and stuff. And a bike that I thought would be like worth a lot of money went for like under 5,000. And then a bike that I thought was like, like there was a Vespa that I've seen up close and it was pink. And I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. I wonder how much that's going to go for. And it went for like $8,000. And it's like, and it looked like it had been dropped several times. So, Neil says he's sharing his weather with us. Thanks a lot, Neil. Dana Mecum owns it and has a son, Frank. Okay, then I don't know who that Lee guy was yesterday. Like I said, he might have been the owner of the financing part of it, I guess. I don't know. They just said he was a part owner. Because we said, is there somebody here we could talk to? And they said, we'll talk to him. He owns it. So that's as far as I got. There's Craig. We're going to see him on Friday, I think. Hi, just walking the strip now. Nice to see all the sunshine. Yeah, it is a nice day today. It's still a little cool for me, but the sun's out, and that always makes it a lot better. Neil says yesterday was 43, but today's 34. So ice for now. Streets are a mess. I bet. That's what I hated in St. Louis. It would snow, but it was just enough to where it'd get all slushy and yicky on the streets. And then at night it got cold, so it froze. So then you had a layer of ice, and then it would start snowing. So then you had snow on top of ice. Always a mess. That was never a good idea. Do snow blows your camping spot at the chip? I don't know. I think they do whatever they want with that spot when we're not there. Stay inside, Neil. JD's on. He says howdy. My father and all of his friends had custom scooters. They cost like 300 new, but now the new ones cost 7,000. I know. Cushman is back in business. Oh, there he found the David Mann bike. There it is. How about that? You'll have to get the number and stuff off of it, and we can see when it sells. I wonder if that's down there on the floor. I don't see him. I don't know where he's at, but at least he found the David Mann bike. I don't know if that's one too or not. Polly P says you'll want to be outside if the Earth's core stops spinning. That's for sure. I had a fishing game meeting in the valley, so he has to go. Okay, Neil, bye. Thanks for hanging out with us. You're so sweet can. Yep. Gets more slippery in the south when they get snow on top of warm pavement. Then it gets cold and freezes in pure ice. Yep. Is that one to say David Mann? Chopper Panhead. There you go. At least you have the number on it. So if you want to get online and bid on it, you can. Get to the chopper. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I wish I bought a bunch of 71 Hemi pennants back in the day. Be a multimillionaire. I know. Or like Bob was saying, my old 66 Impala Super Sport. That would have, I would have liked to still have that. That'd be worth some money now. Mecca main auction for these type of motorcycles. I think so. When Bob called and talked to him last year, they said that they were actually bigger than Barrett Jackson, and Barrett Jackson was the only auction house we'd ever heard of before. And but I think Mecum's pretty big, and I think they're the only one that does a strictly only motorcycle. But they're supposed to be antique motorcycles. So if anybody has a collection or has one they want to sell, I guess this is a great place to bring it, because I guess a lot of people come here just to find that bike you had when you were a kid, or you know, a bike you knew somebody had, or the bike you always wished you wanted you could have had. You know, you can maybe come here and find it. So Mississippi, half an inch closes everything down. I know some of those southern states, just like in Texas last year when we went through and they had that ice storm. I cannot breathe. There's too smoky in here. Yeah. Everything was shut down. It was like the apocalypse. There was like nothing on the highways. All the restaurants, all like CVS, all those, everything was closed. Nothing was open. It was like, wow, this is weird. And it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. David Mann. His spot forgets when he gets back. Okay. I'll have to take a screenshot of that. If I can find my little buttons. Let me see if I can do it real quick. There you go. Now I got it. Thanks. Dan Spiker. He's down in where we're used to from. Down in Carbondale. I couldn't think of the name of the town there for a minute. Yes, Mecum bypass Brett Jackson. And I don't know how long Mecum's been in business, but I know they do that big show in Kissimmee. And I don't know if they go anywhere. These are the ones that sold last year, like crazy money. That thing you just showed you. That little trike, I think they call it a utility bike. I don't know. So most of the bikes that purchased are used. That's cool. Motorcycle auction for wedding gifts. She's gonna kill me. Yeah. So we can all buy Mike and Patsy a bike. There you go. Watch Bob go flying by on his bike. But yesterday, after the auction was over, they drove a bunch of the bikes back. So I don't know if once you buy them or they had to ship them out, but probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 bikes they started up and drove back. So there's another one going up to the floor probably. Scooters we had when we were young are priceless. I know. If we had only known then what we know now, we'd all be rich, wouldn't we? They say hindsight's 2020. I have to sell my 52 James Comet soon. That'll be worth looking into if you can see how much they're worth. Oh, there's one that was sold. See how much it was worth and how how much you'd have to get out of it, how much you want out of it to bring it here to the auction. Like you said, I think Terry said you had to give as a seller 10%. I guess that's all you pay. I didn't know if there was something to bring it here too. I don't know. Just bought a 2008 fuel use. I hope it appreciates. That would be nice. Because was that before they went out of business there for a while? I don't know, because one of my girlfriends used to ride a Buell too. And then it was out of business, and then she bought a Ducati. How about that? If I had any of the cars and bikes I had then, I'd be rich. I know. We all would, wouldn't we? There's David. How you doing? Daytona Dave. I'd like to see an Elvis theme bike. If you go to some of the or some of the bike shows and stuff, I've seen one that had Colby on it. There's a Dillinger bike we've seen quite a bit. One that's got the Constitution all over it. I don't know if I've seen an Elvis bike, because I know, didn't Elvis have a couple bikes too? I don't know. I don't know where those are at, if they're down at Graceland. So I don't know. Yep. $700 to ship a bike. Okay. So if you want to ship a bike here, I guess you have to pay the $700 and then the 10% when it sells. When it sells for. Did they announce that yet? I don't think they announced yet. I think they're making an announcement. Chip's making a band announcement tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Thursday, Friday, maybe Friday. I bought the Buell last summer. I spent $115 million to shut down the new Buell in 2009, about the same time I did. Under that Pinto, a little. I don't know. Are Pintos getting big money? Or the AMC Pacers? Remember those? We used to call those pregnant Pintos.
They're good.
No, maybe tomorrow. Supposed to be an announcement. Okay. I knew there was one coming up, but I wasn't sure what day it was. So I guess he's coming back in here.
I know.
Here he comes. There he comes. That's me. Mecum sold one of Elvis's Harley's Priscilla was at the auction. Oh, really? When was that? How many years ago? Elvis did have a couple of bikes. 2007 Harley May.
Didn't come around to wait on you?
No, not yet.
I should go up to the bar. I don't know.
I guess you have to. Elvis bikes could be the wrong numbers. Yeah. I was thinking he had some motorcycles, but I don't know what kind. I would have. Oh no. Her Thursday Rod is announcing. Okay. New bands tomorrow. Okay. They were talking about what bands. I saw you found the David Mann bike.
Yep. We'll do a video on that later. And go give me a soda.
I can't.
All that walking.
I can't.
Go out there and breathe a minute. Come back in. Too much smoke. We're just not used to. She's never been used to cigarette smoke. Her mom and dad used to smoke, and she had too much of that when she was younger. They got to see the bikes. You know that, like I said, the auction started yesterday. They did about 75, 80 bikes yesterday. Today, we got the list. Maybe we'll scan these when we get home and show you all the different bikes that sold. We don't have prices, but you can go on their website, which I'm not sure. I'll have to check it out and see where it's at. But you can go in and see all of it is. So yesterday, they just had these one page done, and they did about 78 bikes or something like that yesterday. So today, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of bikes. So we probably got, let me just roughly say 1, 2, 3, about 350 bikes they're selling today. So everything from the first bike was a 1975 CZ 250, and the last bike rolling off the line today is going to be a 1971 Honda SL70. How many of you remember the old 50s and 70s, and I think they even had the 90s Hondas? When I was a kid, we used to have a place in St. Louis where you could rent those and go trail riding and stuff on it, and pretty neat. All kinds of bikes they got. Yamahas. Here's one somebody's going to yell at me for pronouncing it wrong, but it's actually it's not that old. It's 2003. It's Aprilia. Aprilia. It's only got 1,000 miles on it. That'll be going. That's probably already sold. That was on the first page. Now let's see where we're at now. 221. 221. On this page, I can. 2, 2. one. So right now they're doing an 82 Honda FT 500, no reserve. It's sold for 3,200 bucks. Not too bad. So not everything here is crazy price. Let me write that down. 221. It was 30. Whoops, her pin's not writing. $3,200. The way I always ask, we don't really look at the prices of the bikes and stuff that they sell. Next one is what they have up now is a 2006 Yamaha YZ250. It's already up to $4,000. So yeah, let me see what some of you guys are saying because I'm not looking at your. Harley made a limited edition of Elvis's bike. Very little made. I don't know. Yeah. My 79 C28 Camaro cost $7,000, and my 2016 cost $7,400. Yeah, it don't make a lot of sense, does it? Well, same thing. My 2014 CVO Limited that I bought was $40,000. You know, that's just nuts. It's almost as much as my truck cost. So big of an area you can get lost. Also get a daily workout. Yes, thanks. Or yeah, it was yesterday. I wore out yesterday, and from walking. Yeah, I seen an Elvis's bike at an auction last year. Could have been even here. This is like one of the biggest auctions. And you know, I had a Honda. You know, that's a Japanese bike. That's what I started out on, Hondas. I really didn't. You know, when I was a kid in the '60s. You know, it was always all the bad biker guys had the Harleys and the oil drippers and all that kind of stuff. And so I really didn't start looking into Harleys probably '90s is when I kind of started seeing them. A Fox. I see. The bad thing is they don't put these bikes in alphabetical order. It's like here, I wanted to go find out where this David Mann's bike is because I walked through most of it yesterday, and of course it's the very last aisle I go down is where I find it at. Because I thought it'd be all the way at the end where it would be Friday or Saturday auction. I think it's gonna be auction tomorrow, so I have to look on the list and see what number it is to make sure we're here to let you guys know how that goes. At 223. Oh, we're already on the next bike. It's an 85 Yamaha YZ 125. It's $6,000 right now. Yep, it's sold. So 223 sold for $6,000. So that's why I said if you had an old motorcycle, you could probably bring it in here, and the odds are you're probably gonna make a killing on it. You know, if I had my old XL 74 Honda, hell, that thing would probably bring. You know, it was in mint condition. I didn't really ride it that much. Off-road a little bit, more on the street. In fact, that sucker probably bring $8,000 now, and I think my dad paid like $1,400 for it. And yeah, they have waitresses and stuff, right? They got waitresses down here that whoops, knock the camera over. In the expensive section down there where all the seats are down on the floor, they have waitresses that will go through there. Get the camera back up there. And go through that. Let's see where we at now. 224. Next bike's already up. 224. That's a motor combo. It's an 84 Honda Moto Combo. It looks like a little scooter. I seen it out there. It was kind of neat looking. $6,200. That's just, you know, I look at something like that and that's just insane. But I guess if you were somebody that had that sucker when you were little, nope, sold for $6,000. $6,000 seems to be the going rate today. They were trying to get 62. So Neil, Red Pink, okay, those YZ bikes were indestructible. And see, Mike, I put a 1971 Honda SL 125cc engine, stroked it to a 160 and a 77 Honda 125 frame. There you go. I had all the metrics until buying my first Harley Davidson last summer that I'm riding now. Been riding since 1985. Well, I actually started, my first bike was 1974. That's when I got my Honda XL. My dad got it for my 8th grade graduation. And before that, I had mini bikes. And we lived in the Midwest. My brother had go-kart. He had a go-kart that did 60 miles an hour. He outran the cops all the time on it. There's a race in go-kart. He rode it on the street. I don't know what that CR500 went for a half hour ago. Well, you can't probably look today, but you can probably go on their website maybe in a couple of days, and you can look that up. If you remember about a half an hour ago, let me look on here and I'll see, let's see, CR500. You remember what year it was, James?
No.
CR500.
So did I.
Let me look. CR500.
And I never use it. That's coming through winter.
Okay, there was an 89 Honda CR 500. Is that the one you were thinking about? Let me put a little mark here. And if it is, I can find out what it's sold for while we're still here. Bruce Nelson, if we only knew. Yep. I bet a lot of James. My first bike was a 1969 Triumph 750 chopper. Then I upgraded to a 1994 Honda Shadow 1100. And now I'm on my 15th or so Harley. There you go. You've had a lot of bikes. Let's see where we're at now. We're on, oh, that one sold. 226 went for 6,000 bucks. We're gonna go back to 226. 226. I skipped a bike there somewhere. 6,000 seems to be the going rate. Somebody must have $6,000 burnt in their pocket or something. They're up now to 227. 227 is a 72 Honda. A Wombat. Whatever the heck that is. I never heard of that. A Wombat. They're not showing a close up of it. Looks like a trail bike. Looks kind of like my 100. 250, something like that. $9,500. Holy smokes. That's crazy. Wouldn't have, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Honda, maybe they didn't make them very long, and it's that kind of makes you unique. Might be one of a kind. Next, we've got 227. Oh, it's going. It's. Let's see what it's sold for. It was up to 10,500. I don't know which way it went for. It went up 1,000 more, so I'm not sure which way it went. And 73 Honda DT 250 and a 75 both in good condition. Bring them to the auction if you want to get rid of them. Old Thumper. Those bikes bring back a lot of memories. That's one of the things about coming to a rally like this. Not a rally, but a bike auction when it's just bikes. You know, you get to see so many bikes to where, you know, maybe when you were a kid you had that one, or I haven't bought my bike yet. I had a 81 750 Honda. Then there's not none of those out there. And my 74 XL100. There's some 71s and 72s I've seen, but no. So right now, 228 is an 83 Yamaha YZ80. Okay. No reserve. It's up to $3,000 right now. You guys can't really see it. We're not supposed to really film the auction because they're online and you got to pay to do it. But on Friday and Saturday, it's supposed to be on. If you guys get X or TV, Motor Trend TV, and you can actually sign up for a free trial. So you can see the show and just cancel it if you don't want it. But on our TV at home, we have Motor Trend TV. Because we seen it the other day, we seen the Mecum. But they don't put every day on, which is kind of weird. They don't do that. But mainly because
they say they have a YouTube channel too.
Yeah, but I looked and I didn't see it.
Couldn't find it.
Oh, they're selling a little dune buggy out there now. Oh, that's the YZ80. $4,000 that thing went for. 83. They were selling almost everything a while ago. Everything was $6,000. I was writing a few prices down. And Pating there, Mary, and Rat Pink. My mom hated motorcycles. We had to hide them. My mom was really good about it. My mom never really complained. Both of my parents really weren't too bad until after we started dating. My dad used to sit up in the house and wait for us to come home because I'd be late. I had to be home by 11, even when I was a senior in high school.
Mine was midnight, so I always.
Oh, so James Brown, 87 or 88. He was asking about a bike that he thought he'd seen. And I said, I'd go back and look. What did I write down? Oh, there it is. Yeah, 89. He said he thought it was an 87 or 88. I'll go back and look. He said it was about a half an hour ago. There's one. I'll go back and look at a couple of the bikes, see if I can find them. Then we'll go ask later what they sold for. And we'll have to watch the video to see when I find them. We won't have a video out tomorrow. We're just going to be doing the lives the next few days. We got a private party to go to tonight, put on by some group that asked us to come to it. So that'll be kind of neat. It's at a bike shop. I worked and saved money for 9 to 12 to buy my 72 Yamaha 800. I had to buy my first 10-speed bicycle. I don't know what year it was, but I bought a Swin 10-speed Varsity, and I paid $126. I still got the owner's manual. It's in my little box at home. And so I still got that, but we sold the bikes. Should have kept it. She had a 5-speed yellow one, and I don't know, she didn't have to buy hers.
Yes, I did.
You bought your own bike. Mm-hmm. Can't believe that.
$126.
Bruce he bought his first Harley when he was in high school. Oh, let's see what they got going on. We got 231 is up now. It's an 83 Suzuki RG250. They're asking, it was a 42, it's a 40, they're asking 45. Let's see what it's sold for. Can't tell if it was 42 or 45 because they show what it's asking. I can't see. The other board over here tells you what it's sold for. We'll put 42 down. Mostly they got next bikes coming up are Honda, Suzuki, a Ducati, some Yamahas, Hondas. A lot of Jap bikes today. We got an Indian. Indian's not going to be up for a while. It's 254.
That was in the 70s, yep. Wait till you see the Indians go far. That's what I was trying to tell them last year. The ones we thought would go for really high weren't, and the ones that we thought shouldn't go very high was. So I don't know.
There's a few Harleys that shouldn't be sold today, but mostly it's Japanese bikes today. Big day for got a Cushman truckster going to be sold later today. Triumph, a lot of Hondas. Oh, they got a, oh, that's Wednesday sheet. Oh, we are on Wednesday.
Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Oh, that was the first one. They sold a high school project. It was a DOT scooter that they sold that the high school built. That was interesting. Some of the bikes do not have titles. They only come with a bill of sale. I heard that when I was out there. Have you been to the SEMA one year for us? I know it's cars, but it's awesome. Yes, next year, if all goes well, we will be at the SEMA show here in Vegas.
That's in October, isn't it?
Yeah. Michael, that did the Topless Tuesday for you guys, he invited us for next year because now they can bring guests. So last year he brought his boys. And so he told us that if I wanted to go next year, he would take us to that. So we'll be going to that. And so, yeah, we'll eventually give you SEMA.
Is that only cars?
Yeah. Well, you might be a few bikes in it, but it's mainly cars, four-wheel drives, trucks. It's the industry's big thing.
Yeah, but if he retires, he's still gonna be able to get in.
Yeah, probably because it's a body shop that gets him in. It's not the insurance company. So a Honda was a joint Japanese and American company that manufactured motorcycles from 64 to 78. Close to 150,000 bikes were produced. Okay, that's interesting. That's one of the things I don't know. I don't know a lot about motorcycles. I rode them.
It was number 89, I guess.
No, that's the year 89.
Oh.
So I'll go back and look for it. Oh, is it the one that I marked down was an 89? Let me go back and look. Yeah, the one I marked is 89. So we'll check that out and see what that one's so far. I got the number. I'll give you the number, James. If I, for some reason, forget, if you go back and look later on, they'll show it up. But it was W178. W178 is the one that I said was 89. And we'll walk back there later because they put them in a line. And I'll take another picture of it. Probably not on the live, but I'll take a picture. Are you on our Facebook page, James? Yeah, I can put it on there. Motorcycles, George. My parents didn't like me on the bikes, but they realized that it was my passion and nothing they could do about it. Yeah. You can get killed on a car just as easy. Hell, you can slip in your bathtub. It doesn't look like they got a lot of people there. No, like I say, most of the time they have 90% of the people are bidding online. And some of them have people that they pay to come here, and there's like some groups that are here that will look at the bike and send you pictures and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you knew you wanted the bike, because if you watch the video this morning, there actually is a finance company here that's actually part of Mecum that you can get a line of credit. So if you were going to take money out of your 401 or wherever you're going to get your investments or whatever and pay for this, you could do that. You know, get a loan, get it approved, 30 days, you borrow your money out, pay it off.
Mike says a lot of fathers wouldn't let their daughters go out with them because he had his bike.
I don't know if your mom and dad knew I had a motorcycle. You should pick her up at high school. I rode around all over. I was 14 years old riding on the street with a bike.
I only rode it when we were
My dad put plates on it because he wanted to ride it on the street. So I had trails in my backyard, went out on the trails. I was never a trail rider. I rode most of my bikes were all street riding. And we didn't really start riding long distance until we moved to California. The year to be moving to California?
2002.
So in 2003 is when I bought my first Honda out here. I bought a Honda Interstate. And we did about 5,000 miles in the first year on that. And then after that, then we got the Harleys, and then we did about 25,000 miles a year on the Harleys and never, ever rode it to work.
George said his first bike was a 68 or 69 37 EL Knuckle. Paid $500 for it and was in 3
There you
boxes.
go. That bike today would be worth a lot of money if you still had it. That's why I said most people kick themselves for.
That's what we were talking about when you were walking around. If we'd only known now what we
Yeah.
knew then, or if we only knew then what we know now. Still have an 84 Yamaha. Tripled in value since I bought it. Yeah,
Let's
that's
see,
cool.
what are we at? We're at 238 now. We're not even halfway through today's list. This is the first page here. Second page.
There's 2 full pages.
4. So
Oh yeah.
we're only through we've done the first page, which was this one. Now we're on the second one. We're still not even down the first column yet. So we still got 1, 2, 3 more columns of bikes. I guess at the end of, when we get to 241, we're halfway through the auctions for today. Started at 10. And,
Well, somebody told me yesterday.
they're at the
'cause
W1. They skipped that. They seen that W1. Oh, did they bring that thing back out? That was the first bike from this morning. It was a 75 CZ
I wonder if
250.
something didn't go through and they're going to re-auction it off again.
I don't know. I don't see anything coming up. All black bike. You can see it up on the screen. You guys zoom in on it. You can't zoom in on it. No, I guess it's an auction. It's sitting there, but I don't see no signs coming up.
No. I don't know. Well, it's not on the turntable. Don't they always put the
Well,
one
it
that's
was.
up?
You just
Oh,
pushed it forward.
I guess it's still going. I don't know. They're not putting
Oh,
the
there it
numbers
is.
up.
$800. Oh, now they're at 237. Somebody must have messed up. We're at 237. 237 is an 82 Yamaha 400. $1,200. Not bad. It runs. $1,200. $1,200.
I know.
Gone. Sold it for $1,200.
$1,200. There you go. Where else can you get a bike for that?
Did it have a reserve? Yeah, it had a reserve on it.
I know. I hope so.
But
Do well on the views. Rapping says we should do well on our views. Good afternoon, King Nation. Yep. Neil said he had to go a while ago. He said he's got to go to his Wild Game Life meeting.
reserve.
Yep. I see that
Now we
bag of
got,
racing link in new post video.
A Honda ATC 83 185 engine.
During the AMF,
$2,200.
we always said if we had an airplane, we'd fly. I know you wonder sometimes. Online bidders, yep. Yes, we are in Las Vegas now. We are at the South Point Casino. That's where this auction's at. But we bought them anyway, that's for sure. Even though we were taking our life to our own hands, because we were invincible back then, right? We were 16, 17 years old. I ran the crap out about 7 times. Dirt bikes can't get off the road onto the trails.
So we've been back at this table.
What table?
There's a table at the very end. If we sat there, we'd be able to see them.
All right.
Somebody's sitting there. We
wanna
can see
get in?
more. We can see what it's selling for.
Oh,
All I see is the last big where it says they're asking for. So I don't know. If
Mecum Finance has high rates and crazy fees. Do they really?
But
They didn't tell us that. Well, they acted like if you needed to just get a short term, like let's say you knew you had money in your 401k, but didn't pull money out, so you knew you were going to buy something. So,
they give you a line of credit.
well, that's what Terry said. He said they have high rates and crazy fees. There's always a price, right? Bruce Nelson says, "Bating."
I mean, if you get a loan, I don't know if they're charging you
Bye,
to get the
George.
loan or
Thanks for
not.
hanging out.
But I mean, if you pay it, most loans, if you pay it off
Hey,
in
Reds
30
Mobile
days,
Life.
you don't really have any
Hey.
fees. So I don't know. And if you write, they take checks and all kinds of things like that. They don't take in credit cards. I asked that
We've
yesterday.
been down there a couple of times. I don't know if we ever ate there at Eagle Pie. Down
No.
there. We know where it is. We've been there.
Never
Couldn't
been
buy
inside.
it.
You know, we didn't go inside yet.
I think we went inside.
I don't know. Maybe we did go inside. I don't know.
That's if it's
If you
if
paid.
it's bid. Okay. Okay, guys, I gotta go enjoy the live auction with you. The King waving. Okay, bye, Crispy K. Hey, Rod's on. Rodzilla joining the crew while drinking again in the Galway, Ireland. Wow, Rod, that's pretty cool. I think I did say he was gonna go over there. Sounds like HD Finance, pretty much. Patsy's on only for a minute. Okay, hi Patsy. You just missed Mike. I think he said he had to go back and work on his rest time. Pretty sad. I've never been to the West Coast.
They had a little 90 Yamaha 2003. Looks like it.
$500.
800 right now.
Huh.
It went to 900. They're at
You
1,000.
should touch a
That's
401k
kinda-
now.
Well, it depends on how old you are. Now, if you're over 55, you can get into it and not get the penalty. If you're under 55, it's a different story. But you would assume most of the people that are here are probably older people buying the bikes. People retired, things like that. They've got 401 plans, and they're pretty well set. Now, there could be exception. There could be some really rich people here that just like to buy bikes. There's also collectors that come to these shows and buy bikes, and collectors that sell bikes. A lot of the bikes out here, there's like 4 or 5 or more, and it's a collector that's selling some of his bikes. Like, there's a bunch of Yamahas out there all in a line. They were all owned by the same guy. So pretty exciting.
I wonder
We like
that,
coming
that
here.
Swiss one.
Which Swiss one?
That I don't know. It was a collection by F Swiss or something. All them bikes that were. On
Yeah,
that
they
one
were
side.
over here on this side. I think they're still there. I think that's where they were. A lot of the really, which is the David Mann bike's really shocking. It's going to sell tomorrow, because I would thought it would have. Most of the big bikes sell Friday and Saturday because they know people will come in for the weekend. And as I said yesterday, we didn't even know they were going to do it on Tuesday, and we just happened to be here. Oh, I guess the guy called us, but I mean, they were only till noon or something, or 1. They were done. They started at noon, and they were
Yeah,
done
it
by
was-
1:30.
Yeah, 1:30 was about the latest.
But we came on yesterday. They were already. No, I guess we came on before they started. So we're looking now at another little bike, 241.
You can't zoom in on that one.
No, not when it's like it says now.
No.
It's 82 Honda MB5. It's what did it sell for? Somewhere around $3,000. Next bike is 73 Suzuki 90. We got a 77 Yamaha Dick Mann TT 500 coming up real soon. The next bike after the one that's on there now. What's that look like? Doesn't look anything
Who's
special
Dick
to me.
Mann?
I don't know. Anybody know Dick Mann? Is he a bike racer?
The David Mann's brother.
I doubt it.
Never know.
Got some Indians coming up. BMW, a Mecum motocrosser, Suzuki, an Indian Chief, another one of those Hondakas. They're going to sell 100. Here's I can't even pronounce this. Husqvarna. Husqvarna. I don't know. Cross country. 76. A Honda Dream. I never heard of a Honda Dream. Here's the Fuji 1966 Fuji Go Devil folding mini bike. I might go down and see what that looks like. That's gonna be a little while. It's number 266. You put a little mark there. Maybe I'll go down there and film it with the other camera. Never seen a Fuji folding mini bike. That would be interesting to see. A couple more Mecum bikes coming up. 72 CZ 380. A matchless G80, whatever that is. That's from 62. Let's see what the oldest bike is. Here's a 57 Triumph they're selling today. 67 Hornet VSA. Let's see what else. What do we got looking for the oldest bike? Like I said, a lot of the good stuff really is until later on. This must be Japanese Day, pretty much. Looks like the 57 is probably the oldest one we had today. 260s. 73, 66, 70.
Motorcycle industry.
There's a Comet. Oh, there we go. Oldest bike is a 1946 Doodle Bug. And a 1946 James Single. Those already went by. Probably some of those little scooters. He sold some Ducatis today.
He's in the Motorcycle Hall of Fame in America. He was inducted in 1993. He was an American professional motorcycle racer.
43.
He is a 2-time winner of the AMA Grand
That's going on right
National
now. So it's up to $6,000 right now.
for the Dick Mann bike.
It didn't say it's sold. They might have more of a reserve on it. It says $6,000. They like that $6,000. When buy a bike, bring $6,000. You could probably pick up a Japanese bike.
Is that the Dick Mann one?
Yeah. I don't know. Did it have a reserve on it? No reserve. So it's sold. It's sold for $6,000.
Oh, he just died too. He died in 2021. Yeah, April 30th. He was one of the most versatile racers in American motorcycle racing history. He passed away at the age of 87.
So I don't know if it was actually one of his bikes he raced or if it was just a bike that Yamaha put his name on it. I'd have to go down there and look at it.
Got some comments. I'm behind. I just signed up for the hog membership. Now that I own a mule, I can hang out with the cool people.
There you go.
It seems, oh, I lost my place.
Seems I saw somewhere you have to be a hog member to demo HDs. No, you don't. You have to have a driver's license.
Yeah.
Now we always bring our helmet. You got to have shoes on. Can't wear sandals.
Flip-flops.
Can't have shorts. You got to have jeans on. You can have a tank top on, a wife beater, whatever you want to call it. That's fine. But you got to have a helmet. And if it doesn't have a shield, you got to have glasses. Other than that, that's the only restrictions to ride a Harley Davidson at a store. So, but a lot of times, well, I don't know if they don't do it anymore. It used to be if you were a hog member, you used to get a discount on renting the bikes when Harley Davidson did it. One of the nice things about the hog group is, like, we had a friend that went to Hawaii and never had been there before, and they wanted to rent a bike and all that. So they ended up getting a hold of the local hog chapter in Hawaii, wherever they got the rental bike from. And they took them out on tours the whole time they were there. Took them out on these great rides and all this stuff. And she actually said, they said it was priceless. They spent like 4 or 5 days riding from sun up to sundown. And they've seen some really great stuff. And then they can also tell you what island to be on, you know, do all that. That'd be kind of neat. And she wants to go to Hawaii. And I don't know if we'll be able to afford to rent a bike. I hate to say what the bike costs over there. Everything else is so darn expensive over there.
Yeah.
Mecum was a German-made,
used to have
state-of-the-art
somebody from Hawaii
motocross
used to
bike.
watch
See?
us, though.
And they went
He buys
bankrupt. Mike knows a lot about bikes. You should get Mike to come on and talk about bikes.
Yeah.
You have to get a soda. You get it up here.
Yeah. She'll give you a refill or not. I asked for a glass of water and she's like, we have a bottle.
You can see. Probably won't. You got money.
Yeah.
Can't give me good looks. Don't give me no soda for free.
Nope. It's a girl.
Yeah. Nowadays, you never know about girls, right? So let's see that. So that's kind of neat. Bruce says right now, no one is taking a loan out on a big ticket items. Rates are very high, which is true, but they're still selling stuff. Houses are still selling. People are buying cars. So it is kind of weird that people are still buying some of the stuff. You know, it's not as big as it was. I mean, Vegas here, there's a lot of people here for being January, which is typically in in Las Vegas. January is pretty much a dead month. One thing that goes on here is is it NBA? No, it's the Porn Star Convention. And that was just, I think, a week or so ago. I think some of the Harley owners don't really know anything about other brands of bikes. Hey, are you making fun of me? I rode a lot of different bikes, and but I never really got into, I was an auto mechanic. I knew a lot more about cars. You know, if you have an old car, an old Mustang or 60s, 70s, a little bit of 80s, that's when I kind of worked on cars and did a lot of that stuff. Worked on big blocks and rebuilt motors and all that kind of stuff. I just never really had much interest in doing anything on my bike. I actually, for most of my bikes, my Hondas, well, my Goldwing was a piece of junk, but my first two Hondas, my 100 XL, which actually was a 200cc, and the 750, really never had any trouble. I never really rode them that much. Heck, I think my 81 750 Honda, I think I had maybe 7,500 miles on it when I sold it, and I had it all the way up until, geez, I don't know, when the kids were around, like in the 90s, I sold that. I traded it for a conversion van, down payment on a conversion van a guy was selling. And the only thing I ever did to it was I didn't ride it enough, and the muffler started getting little holes in it. And I took my MIG welder and welded up the little holes so I didn't have to buy new mufflers. So I never really, you know, when it comes to AVN, that's what it is, AVN show. I should know that. Been there, seen that, done that. Michael does professional photography for, you know, nudists and all that kind of stuff. So, which was really shocking. Tammy don't want to talk about this, so I'm telling you something she don't want me to talk about. So we went to this convention because Michael invited us to do it. So we went to it, and this is like, I don't know, 15 years ago, probably, maybe 20, where they wouldn't let anybody in. You had to be, they only let people in the very last day. So the rest of the time was all for the entertainment people. Well, we went to that show, and it was crazy because Michael knew all these porn stars. And they're like, hi, Michael. And I'm like, how the hell do you know these girls? You know, Jamie Jameson and all them. I'm like, how do you know them? And he's like, oh, go back to my book. In 1984, I took pictures of them. They're on page 21, 22, and 23. And I'm like, holy crap. And he said, yeah, they weren't nobody then. But, I mean, he was doing it in L.A. So he had a lot of the, so, yeah. So I didn't tell you that. So I got a motorcycle endorsement in 2017 at the age of 57. The only motorcycle I ever deemed was an Indian 1200 demoed. Tam didn't get her license till she'll tell you what year. About 15 years ago. She always rode in the back. HNL is a big. Oops, got my thing there now. And who is Michael? Michael is the guy that did all the videos for us at Topless Tuesday. They got all the stuff down front. If you watch the video that we did where the clean version that I put on, and there's a guy that gets on there, looks kind of a rough looking guy. That's Michael, got a hat on, and he says, "Hey, I'm here for Bob and Tam." Well, that's Michael. And we met Michael, I don't know how many years ago did we meet Michael? When we moved to California, I guess.
2003, 2004.
And so he's the one that does all the nude stuff, and it's not as big as it used to be. It used to be, you know, people were a lot more different back then, and now he still does it, but he's been doing it since like the 80s. So I said he knew a lot of the porn stars knew him before he ever took pictures, or before they ever became stars.
Yeah.
When I was young, I did not have an endorsement, but I always was able to flee and exclude them. Yeah. When I first, like I said, I was 14. I didn't have a driver's license yet. So yeah, I rode around with no
Driver's license.
yeah, no driver's license. Never got pulled over. Well, I would outran them, but I mean, it had a plate on the back of the bike. But you know, on the back of a motorcycle, it's really hard for them to catch your plate to start with. Actually, I think most Harley owners started on other bikes, and that's true. We were talking to a guy a while back, and that's what he said, and it's true, which is really particular. When I talk to people and I ask them that the first bike, you know, the bike that most people do was their first bike? Try a Honda. Not saying only you had a Honda first, but when we go out, and last year I was asking a lot of people, and they're like, "Yeah, I started with a Honda. I started with a Honda." And so it was pretty common.
We're more reasonable.
Yeah.
I rode for about 25 plus years before my motorcycle endorsement.
What year did you get your motorcycle license?
2009.
So she was on the back of the bike all that time until then. And the girls at our hog group, we had a Christmas party, and one of them that had been riding for years, she got Christmas drawing was she got a free Rider Edge course. So they came up to her and said they hounded her for years, and it was like $250 value. Said, if you take this course, would you go after your license? While she was getting ready to go to the course, sign up, I already went out and bought a 1200 Sportster. Well, at least I got two bikes.
Honda Goldwing.
Yeah, and so we bought that, and it was a really neat bike. I really like that little 1200 Sportster. It's great for running around town. It'd be great to take the campgrounds and stuff. And but I wouldn't want to go. She rode at 250 miles. That was the longest trip she ever made, probably on that Sportster.
Yeah.
Coming out to
probably Laughlin. Yeah.
Mostly she drove back and forth to work every day. Rain, snow, or sleet.
40,000 miles.
Yeah.
So Polly said they usually don't pull you over on a bike unless you're doing something stupid.
Typically true. And we were in LA, and I was splitting lanes and all that, and they got the carpool lane. So, you know, they never give you the good. You're not supposed to cross over the double yellow lines. So I kind of snuck in there, and a cop pulls up behind me, pulls right alongside of me, and he goes, "You want a ticket?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Get over there." He wanted me to go all the way across the 8 lanes. So I went over like 2 lanes. He got on his speaker and said, "Go over the rest of the way." So I went over and came back. But it was great because in LA, for splitting lanes, all you have to do, especially in the morning, if you could get behind a cop, he'd let you tuck in right behind him. Yeah. And he'd hit the siren or something if cars were too close to the line. And that made it nice when you're riding behind a cop.
James Brown said, remember, you meet the nicest people on a Honda.
There you go. You meet a lot of good people on motorcycles in general. You know, you don't see a whole lot of, there's buttholes that are out here that, that aren't good people. But overall, that's one of the things I like about Sturgis. Sturgis, overall, we see the best crowd of people in Sturgis. But I mean, we see a lot of people. Where a lot of the other rallies, we don't see as many. A lot of the rallies don't have really good congregational areas. And you go to Daytona, you got the Iron Horse. It gets pretty crowded. That's probably, other than Main Street, the Iron Horse is probably the busiest bar they're open year round. So they're probably the busiest place in Sturgis. In Daytona.
So they're planning a 5 to 6 day run through the Yellowstone and the Tetons in late June, if we're available to catch up with you.
June, I doubt it.
Why?
Well, depends on when it is.
Well, depends on what he wants to do with the shop. Because that's when we're going to be back. And you're probably
That's
going
how
to be
freaking hot it is.
it's hot down
Because we
there.
got to see if Ron's going to help me install my air conditioner. I think a lot nicer if I had somebody help me do it all.
Yeah,
One thing I got a problem with is
commercials
running the
and
copper
stuff.
line from the compressor to the unit. Other than that, I've never done that. I'm not a copper guy, and there's never full copper. Wiring, yeah, I got no problem wiring it all up. It's going to be all 220. I got no big deal doing that. Thanks for bringing us along.
Is what he said. Well, he says he also bought a, I think it was a Honda. He said a dirt bike because that's what he grew up riding on. But it's in mint condition. He says he's got it hidden in the back of his garage. His wife don't know about it.
There's a lot of them. There's a couple bikes down by our house that I see if they're sitting at the end of the guy's garage inside. They're covered up with towels and all this stuff, and the bikes haven't moved in over a year. And so it's like one it looks like it might be a Fat Boy Low, but it also could be a Honda. But you couldn't tell by the way it looks, but it is all black.
I think they're doing the same thing you are, just watching the numbers. Yeah. He wants the table at the end so he can see the big screen. So the numbers are like this big, so he can read and see what they actually went for. This here on the side, that one looks like it went for 2,500, or what they're asking now. Sold for 2,500, I guess. And what number was that one? This one's 257.
257.
257 is a 1961 matchless G2 MC. Never heard of a matchless.
Me neither. And
Oh, this one's got, it says no reserve. Absolute no reserve.
it's looks like
35.
a little street bike.
I know when I was
It's got a little M on the gas tank. It's got little wings on it. I don't know.
4,000.
We could go down to the table, but I don't know how loud those guys are. Another table. Let me walk down with this camera.
All right.
And we'll see.
That way he can see what it actually sold for. Oh, I guess it's still going. Sold 4,200. Whatever that match. What did it say it was? A match 57. Matchless G2 MC. I don't know. We will be riding in about 2 months. Can't wait. I know. It's pretty windy out here to be riding, although Emory HVAC came out, his name's Ron, and with his friend Jason. And I guess didn't work out.
Down there.
How is it?
Yeah, you wouldn't like it. I could see it. They couldn't see the guys in the boat.
Mecum was selling a couple of Elvis jets recently too. Oh, were they really? They didn't sell the Lisa Marie, did they? Well, they might be able to now, since she's now no longer with us. I heard about some Elvis jets in the auction lately. Okay.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Hello.
Mecum's a big place. I had never, until last year, I had never heard of Mecum auctions. We had always heard of the Barrett Jackson auctions. That's what we kind of seen where we were always at. And then when we talked to them, it was kind of bad because I ended up saying that they said, well, have you ever heard of us? And I'm like, not really. The bad thing to do is ask me a question because I'm going to tell you the way it is. And it is. After we came here, I'm very, very impressed. It's very professional. It's very
Organized.
Yep. You don't see a very big delay anywhere. The people are all the staff is very friendly. It's really good. I'm very, very impressed with what's here. I've been to car auctions for wholesalers. I used to have a car lot, which is a whole different thing. You run them through a barn and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's a lot different there.
Oh, Betsy says, wherever we're settled down after we get married, we'll have to be where Mike can ride
give me
you
a
around.
camera. I'm going to go down and look and see if I can find the folding motorcycle.
The folding?
Yeah, they got a mini bike that folds up. It's 266, so it's not too far away. It's only 6 bikes away. I want to see it. Whoops. You're not going to see it live. I'm going to save it. You got to watch a video.
He's going to save it for a video. So there you go. Yeah. California is the best place if you want to ride year round. Florida, you can ride year round, but it isn't very nice riding. I mean, you can just ride, but it's all flat. So even though California is what it is a nice place to visit. But that's what you say. Never want to live there, but if you want to ride year round, that's the place you need to be. Because what we would do is when it was hot, we'd ride up to the mountains or down to the beach. And if it was cold, we would ride out to a Palm Desert or someplace like that. So you could pretty much ride year round. Arizona, pretty much, but it even snowed in Phoenix the other day. I saw they had pictures on the news where the snow was on the cactuses. Yes, it's a shame what they did to that state. I know. It's crazy. He won't live in California. He drives a truck all the time and doesn't like the traffic. I know. It's tough. It's I don't know. Like I said, it's California has its pluses and minuses, but I think the minuses outweigh the pluses because it influences the way you live your life, which is crazy. So I guess the governor, they had a new governor here in Nevada, and he said that they're $1 above what the average for gas is, gasoline. So he's gonna withhold the state tax that they put on gasoline, which is 23 cents a gallon, which they said would save people like between $400 and $700 a year. So, I mean, I guess that's something, but you know, they were saying he can't make those kind of decisions, that he has to go through the Senate and all this other stuff. So I don't know. That's what his plans are. Whether they'll let him do it or not is another story. I would ride in the snow first, then ride in California. I don't know. If you're not living there and you just go to visit, it's not bad, like I said. But yeah, I don't know if we ever rode the bike in the snow. I guess Bob did once when he was coming back from Sturgis. I had to fly home that year, and they went up through Yellowstone and got up to where it was snow on the sides. They wanted to pull over and take pictures with their bikes in the snow, but they were afraid they'd get stuck and wouldn't be able to get out. Even their own residents call it Camp County, Florida. I know. It's crazy. Yep. Illinois is getting to be just about as bad too. And I guess there's a few states. I don't know. It's just, I tell everybody, Jesus is coming soon, so you better be right with Jesus. So, because don't want to be on the wrong side of that when he comes back. Only so many days numbered on this earth. I don't know if he found the collapsible bike yet or not. W264. We took the other one. 264. 74 Honda MR50. So I guess that's a little bike. That'd probably be good for the grandsons. It's up to 3,700, 3,000. Yeah, it's a little bitty bike. Look how tall that guy is next to that bike. It must be really small. They had a real little bitty Indian. It was really cute, but probably it would probably almost even be too small for the. Oh, the reserve is off, so it sold for 3,100. Guess that one must have had a reserve on it. I don't know. It was a little bitty, like Indian, I think it was. It was teeny tiny, and I don't even think the 6-year-old would be able to ride it. It was probably too small for the 6-year-old. Then they have a, I don't know what you call it, one of those like little carnival rides. You put a quarter in and you can ride on the motorcycle. They have an Indian one that's going to be going up for sale. I think it's on Saturday. That's going to be kind of neat to have in the shop, but probably going to go for way too much money. Reserves off that one too. It's up to 4,000. What number is that? 65. Oh, it said it sold for 4,000. That was a Fuji. No, that was a Yamaha. 74 Yamaha 250. 166. This one, oh, this is the Fuji here. Go Devil. Folding mini bike. This is that one that folds up, the folding mini bike. The Bob went down to try to find. I don't know if it got down there before it got up on the auction block or not. So that, oh, you can't really see it very good, can you? Here's a close up if you can see it. That's pretty tiny too. Wouldn't be able to ride that along very far, I don't think. It's a Fuji Go Devil folding mini bike. Geez, it's already up to 6,500. Reserve is off. Sold for 6,500. I don't know. I'm sure it didn't go for new that price. I miss when I know. Used to have the quarter rides outside. There's a few I've seen every now and then, but I don't think it's a quarter anymore. I think they're like $1 now. You have to put 4 quarters in instead of just one. I know. We used to always do that. Bug our moms before we walked into the grocery store or whatever to ride the horse or car, whatever it is, the Flintstone mobile. The reserve's off on that one too. 7,000. I don't know what that one is. 66.1. This guy must have a couple. That was a 99 Kawasaki ZRX 1000. 10,000 it's up to. Holy cow. 95. Somebody must not have bid it high enough. Sold 95,000. 9,500. That seems kind of high for a 99 Kawasaki. Next one's a 82 Kawasaki KS 1000, no reserve. 1,500. Yeah, I think if you put a reserve on it, geez, this thing's bouncing all over. If you put a reserve on your whatever you're brought to sell, I think you have to pay more to have it in the auction. Because then if you don't get it, so then if you take the reserve off right before it sells, then you still have to pay that fee. I don't know. Because if it's got no reserve and you don't sell it, then the auction don't make any money, you don't make any money, and nobody's happy. So I don't know how that works if they once they take the reserve off. I wonder if they, because they probably have agents that are here or on the phone with them, and they tell them go ahead and take the reserve off. I don't know how it works. I used to go to auctions when I was a little kid with my grandpa, but I never knew how it worked. I just knew the guy up there was talking a mile a minute. That's all I know. I think read this as a no reserve auction. No, because sometimes, see, this says NR, absolute no reserve. It's got up there on top. And then if it gets so high, I guess if it has a reserve, then it says the reserve is off. So I don't know. I have no idea how it works. Never really understood auctions. Somebody I knew auctioned off their parents, like all their possessions that their parents owned in their house. And all the stuff they had in that house, and it was all antiques and collectibles and stuff. By the time the auction took their portion and then what they sold it for and blah, 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 they ended up making like hardly nothing. So I've never been really big on auctions. I don't really understand how they work. I guess if you know what you're doing and know how to do it, I guess it works for everybody involved. It's a good way to get your possessions out there, or your motorcycle in this case, and for people to see it all over, because I guess a lot of people are online, probably all over the world watching this, to where if you just put it in a local paper or even in some of those cycle gear magazines, I guess you wouldn't get near the exposure as you would at an auction.
All right, so let me tell you what just sold. Let's see, where's the number at? 269 was 268. So they sold a 2006 Yamaha YZ250. It was a 50th anniversary, no miles on it. They were predicting it was going to go over $10,000. It sold for $6,000. Brand new, spanking new bike. Never been ran, never turned on. So that just went through the line. Another fold-up motorcycle, the little mini bike that fold up. I think it was $6,000 or $7,000 so far. They recorded it, the sound. Well, sometimes that's what they're asking for. At the bottom it says asking, so it doesn't mean that's what it sold for. You have to listen to the guy out there to hear him say sold for whatever. So you can pick up some good deals here. You know, we've seen some bikes here sold for $1,500. Today, nothing really too big. I mean, this bike, that new bike, was estimated between $10,000 and $20,000 it was going to sell for, and $6,000 it went for.
That James Brown thought that this was a no reserve auction, but I think there's some bikes that have reserves on them, don't they?
Yeah, because a lot of the bikes I'm out there listening, they're saying the reserve is off. And then so they kind of bring it back up again. They stop again. So what they do is when they get to the line, I guess what they do is They must have the people online, if they're not here, online, because the auctioneer looks over to the guys from the internet and they either nod or they shake their head no. And then he says, yeah, reserve is now off at this price. Can we get another $500 or whatever? So pretty interesting.
Sarge, what does a Honda CR 250 go for in the first lineup of bikes that showed the other day?
I'd have to go back and look for that. That was the one I looked at. That one ended up being a 500. That was in the very first line when I walked through and I said that it was the very first bike. When I did the video this morning that came out, that was actually a 500. It wasn't a 250. If that's the same one. It was like the 6th or 7th bike they sold. We'd have to go back and ask about that price and see what it sold for.
You can go on online and
I don't know
look,
how
can't
soon
you?
they update all that.
No. I think if they're doing it online, well, I guess that one says reserve is off. It just sold.
Yeah, well, see, on the thing here, they tell you the bikes. Like right here,
NR is no reserve.
I would say probably about half the bikes have no reserve. But I mean, there's some that.
But don't you have to pay more if you've got a reserve on it?
I think so.
It's
Most
kind of like on
eBay does that.
yeah.
When you put a reserve on it, you have to pay a higher price.
Yes, that was he was talking about, he said. So we'll have to
So we'll
look
check.
and see.
I'll go back and look and see what that is. While we're here, we'll have to find out where we get all that information at.
Jerry was on a while ago. He probably knows. I don't know if you go on just mecum.com and put in the date, and you probably have to know the number of the item,
Because
number.
we already knew. Well, if you knew the exact bike, you could probably type up. It's like the girl when I was looking for the David Mann bike. I don't know what. I have to go back and see what number it was. But she pulled all she could do is pull up because I didn't know what year it was. I assumed it was a Harley, but I didn't know anything else. It was yellow. She pulled up all the yellow bikes. Well, we pulled up a couple of them that were that I thought could be choppers. So they didn't say chopper or nothing on it. And in the description, there was nothing saying it was a David Mann production bike. And so
Was it on the little ticket that was on
yeah,
it? Oh, hi.
and said who the bike builder was that built it. Because that's what I didn't know. David Mann never all those bikes that
Or
he's
a
got in
figment
his
of his
picture. Yeah.
imagination.
So like the wings, he does a lot of the
Wings?
Triumphs. He built a lot of the Triumph ones that look like his. We met him a year or so ago. Actually,
That
met him
Sarge says those 500s are going for $10,000 to $20,000 overseas.
days. It could be what they're doing is, some might be buying these bikes and then doing that, hauling them
could be,
overseas
yep.
and selling them.
All right, bye, Patsy. She's got to go laundromat, she
Well, she was
says.
there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Saying she was only be there a minute.
Well, I told her, I said, you just missed Mike. He said he had to go back to sleep. They've been on an hour and a half.
Holy smokes, that's a long time. 2:30. 2:30 here. Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming. We're in such a weird spot. when it
We're
comes
back
to time.
on Pacific time now. We're on Mountain time when we cross the river here. Actually, we don't
Crazy.
cross the river here.
No.
Across the border.
Yep. Bye-bye, Patsy. That's that one.
What's going on there now?
Yeah.
It's 274. 274 is a 72 CZ 380. It had like a chrome tank on it. It might be some kind of custom built bike. Looked like something that maybe somebody was racing.
It's up to 4,000.
But you can't read it because they put everything that's on the little card is up on this where they show you the score and stuff of the game, whatever's going on here. What do they call it? Marquee? I don't know what they call it. Stupid names. It's not a marquee.
Jumbotron.
Yeah, maybe something like that. But they got like all the description. It's on the little card. It tells you all the different things. If it runs, it doesn't. Some of them don't tell you if they run or not. I didn't see any too many this time. Last time we were here, we seen a few bikes that
Reserve is
had
off.
like a card on it that said, call me if you want to bet on my bike. I'll tell you more about
Or
it.
there was a barcode where you could actually scan it and you could
Hear it run.
see him run. Yeah, like a little video of it. Going to Florida to ride the first 2 weeks of March. Mike, catch up with you. There you go, Rod. Yeah, we'll be down there then.
Yep, we'll be down there for Daytona Bike Week.
Yep. We'll be in Florida until April.
274.1. That's a weird number to have.
Well, it's because the same guy owned the bike before it and this bike. That's what that is.
The Mecum bike is what's up there now. 78 Mecum. That's 0.1.
MAICO MX 400. Mecum.
Pretty excited. So yeah, I don't know. We got on
24.
24. Anybody have any questions about the Mecum auction? Kind of neat. You know, there is fees you have to pay if you're selling, and I think even if you buy a bike, there's a fee here besides the
He said,
$200 buying them.
Jerry said it's 10%. The buyer and the seller, whatever it goes for, has to pay 10%. That way the auction makes 20%.
Go to $6,000 bike, you're paying $600 for them.
But I don't know, do you have to pay to get your bike in the auction? Because you know how OnStars always says, well, if I have to take it to the auction, I got to pay the auction fees and this and that and the other. And they act like
I would
it's a lot of
think
money.
there's like I would think if you didn't have no reserve, there might not be as any fees. But I would think if you had a reserve on your bike and it doesn't sell, I would think there'd be some price because they've got price. They got somebody's paying to push it in, push it out, put it in line, do all the stuff. They probably spend 15, 20 minutes or maybe even more moving your bike around during the show. And if it doesn't sell, then they didn't make any money. So I like I said, maybe we'll ask that. We'll have to ask what how that all works. Or you probably call that other guy that we know, the guy that called us. We could probably ask him some of the questions about that. And maybe we'll talk about that on tomorrow's video. Because we're probably gonna do more lives here. I don't know what time tomorrow's will be. It might be the same time. Because it kind of gets you to where some of you guys, it's later in the afternoon, you might be home from work.
On the East Coast,
It's 3 hours. 2,
Yep.
3, 4,
So
5,
5:30.
5:30. Might be eating dinner. Oh, there's a
Yeah,
whole
George said he had to go eat dinner. He says, dinner's calling, gotta go.
We buy so many products from China that we are funding the military to build China. Maybe those people that have the money, maybe buying our collections. That you're very right. You know, it's very possible. And you know, more and more of that's being bought up here. That's why down there in Florida, the Santos is getting ready to set it to where if you're a Chinese-based company, you can't buy any property in Florida. And you know, maybe the guy who becomes president someday, maybe he'll fix that to where they can't. Which it is. It's crazy that foreigners can come over here to the United States and buy stuff up like that, and then all it does is raise the prices. If you want to buy something, like when I worked in California as a gas company, man, we had a whole community that had $1 million homes in it. Nobody lived in them, and so the gas company, they leave the meter on. There's no use. So I'm a technician, so I'm sent to these houses to find out, is the meter broke, what's going on, things like that.
They getting free gas.
Yeah. So ended up finding out that all these homes were bought by Chinese people. They came over, or maybe they didn't come over. They bought them offline, bought them, kept all the utilities on, and they let them sit. What they're waiting for, I don't know if they're waiting for the prices to go up, they're waiting for them to go, you know, who knows what they're doing, but they're not living in them. They don't rent them out, they don't do anything. Well, in turn, that raises the prices. And that's happening in all of the United States, not by that, but it's just like Florida. Florida now is like triple or quadruple the price it was 4 years ago. Not because so much of the Chinese, it's people from New York and stuff that want to get out of what's going on. California, same way. Arizona's jumped like that. Texas, Tennessee, all those states that used to be reasonable and a good place to live now have a lot of people from other states trying to move there to get a better way of life, and which makes it tough for the people that live there, of the town we live in. The people that live there can't afford the homes that are being sold because it's out of their price range. Even when we bought it, it was half of what it is now. They couldn't afford back then. So it's tough and they don't make a lot of money. Florida's low paying jobs.
Yep.
What do they got going on? They sold something. Sold a little, looks like a Cushman cart, but it probably wasn't Cushman. It was $277. What was that little thing that just sold? $277 was, it was a 1960 Harley Davidson Topper. That was like a Cushman cart, looks like a Cushman scooter. But it's a Harley scooter. I don't know if Harley made those back or not. Anybody know that? If Harley used to make those little scooters that they used to have? Was it actually made in the factory, or if they put their name on? That's kind of like the 550s and the 750s they sold a few years ago.
That's Harley doesn't really make a 750, do they?
No, they never really did. They made those ones, those Japanese ones that they had a few years ago. Thought they were going to be mass sellers, and they didn't turn out very good. They weren't a Harley. There was nothing on there. It was probably a Harley Davidson.
That looks like a little bitty bike too. Look at that guy. You can tell how big the bike is by the guy that's pushing it.
It's a 279. What's 279? 279 is a 1992 Honda Z50R. There's a cool. Let's see what that one sells for. I wouldn't mind getting a little like a 70 or a 50. I'd really like a 70 Honda. Somewhere between 1,500 and
Same rule should
2,000
apply at
bucks.
both ends. Americans cannot own or start a company in China. Should be the same deal here.
Yep, I agree
end
with
of
that.
discussion. Yep. Yep, that's a little bitty one.
Got some trikes coming in. They got a three-wheeler coming in now. 280 is a 84 Honda ATC 200 Big Red. Used to be outlawed, but the time has gone over now that it's no longer illegal to own one of those or to sell one because but I don't know if they'll ever remake them. But
People used to flip
too many
them.
people didn't know how to ride them and flip them all the time. Then you can flip a four-wheeler. So what's the difference if it's a two-wheel, three-wheel?
Free will.
Let's see what it sells for. $1,200 right now. They're asking for it. Probably won't go much more than that.
I don't know. Can they actually even see
1,100,
that?
Can they see
If
it on
they're
here?
watching on the
No.
phone, you probably can't. Can
I
you
see.
zoom it in?
I can't. You already asked that.
I know, but I mean,
Oh.
can they zoom it in?
Yeah,
I wonder.
Yeah, they can click on it and open it up, and I don't know if they can see the wording or not if it's that clear. So we're only shooting on 720.
Roadkill Ron wants to know what you're buying. Nothing.
We're looking at some novelty stuff for the shop. That's what I'm kind of looking at, and but yeah, we can't right now. Right now, we've got some dealers that we're talking to about getting some bikes. We're looking to do some bikes for veterans, and that's what we're looking at. I'm not really looking for anything for myself at this point because of money. But I'd like to get some stuff for. We got some really big Harley signs here I'd like to put in the shop, but I'm afraid they're probably going to go way more than my budget. They had a couple other things. They got a popcorn machine there. They've got a soda machine. They've got a pinball machine, which we looked it up. There's one on eBay right now you can pick up for best off for $4,100 or not, but you have to go to New Jersey to pick it up. So that kind of gives you an idea what I basically said. I thought it'd go for around 4,000 or 5,000, which is kind of. Probably picked that one up for less. That's on eBay, but I don't. Now I get it from New Jersey to here. Don't know, but no, I'm not going to spend $4,000 for a pinball machine. So we'll see
Don't
what
have
happens.
that kind of money right
We're also
now.
looking at. We got a video coming up on another auction that we're going to talk about that you can go to and buy things at. Besides this, and that video, I'll have to see when I'm going to get that up. We just got a really tight schedule the next few weeks. I got 2 videos I got to do when I get home. We got some new products that got sent to us that we're going to. One goes on the bike and one can be used for the bike. So we got 2 videos that I've got to get done because they wanted them done within 2 weeks, and it'll be 2 weeks next week. So
Window shopping. That's what we're doing. Window shopping.
well, it's giving you guys good information about the rally and or the rally, all these rallies,
The auction.
to the auction here, because you may never have been to an auction like this, and what do I expect? How does it work? What do you do? And that's what we want to try to bring to you because we are a motorcycle channel. It's just not about rallies. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff. We're actually going to do our intro video. It's on our site. We're going to redo that and explain. 'Cause we're really not doing too much RVing anymore, talking much about that. And kind of pull that off. We still talk about, when we're at the rallies, we show you some great places to camp and stuff, but not so much us doing the rally or traveling as we're going. So we're more getting into doing, more bike stuff. We're looking at maybe getting into this veterans, working on bikes. We're going to show you more stuff. We're doing 2 bikes and stuff like that. Fixing up some bikes, things like that. So kind of we got a little different on our channel. We're still going to be doing rallies this year, and we'll see how this year goes to determine what we're doing next year. Still be motorcycles, but just have to see where our avenue will go. And James says thank you. And like I say, we try to give you guys good content, give you good stuff. If somebody write something you want to say.
No, I was thinking I need to write some of this stuff down. We're going to ask that Dave guy, or when we go to see him, David, I'm not going to remember what we wanted to ask him. It was about putting the bikes in, if it's reserve or no reserve, how much it costs, how do you get your bike here. I think Terry said it costs $700 to have a bike shipped here. That's probably to that U-Haul. Bikes. Biker buddy of mine has about 30.
And awesome pinball machines in his ultimate man cave. There's a lot of people that collect pinball machines. There's actually a museum out here. You can come out and it's actually on the strip now. It used to be on
right next to the Harley Davidson
It
dealership.
used to be down on Tropicana or Flamingo or something. It used to be down there. And we went to it once. And you had to bring your own money. But you can play all these old vintage pinball machines and stuff. It's kind of neat. The ones if you're our age, you play that, not so much the video game. But I mean, they had that too, like Donkey Kong and all that kind of stuff that they had there. They probably have the newer ones that are out there now too. But it's kind of neat. We haven't stopped at this one. I don't know if they charge now to get into the one that's on the strip now or not.
I don't think they do.
I don't know. I don't know how they make any money. You can't make a lot of money selling You know, that
especially
property probably
they
cost
built
them.
this big, yeah, big property right on the strip.
So I'm assuming it costs you to get in, and maybe now you pay to get in and you get to play the games free. I don't know. Maybe we'll stop by there this week and see what how it works in there. Maybe we'll get a little tour for free. We'll do a video on it. Since we're talking about pinball machines. What do they got going on now? Round and around and around they go. They got them a little turnstile that's in the middle there that the bike kind of turns on. You've seen any auctions, they all do that kind of thing. Yeah, but that John doesn't look like he's here. He must not come till they go on TV.
Oh,
He must not be here till Friday or Saturday.
now he lost his glasses.
Well, we have plastic ones now. Seats are pretty full down there. If you look down at the camera, there's pretty full down there, seating wise down there. There's probably, I don't know how many seats. We have to ask how many seats they put down there on the floor. I'd say it's 80% full on the floor. A lot of people standing. Probably all these people that were standing and sitting, there probably wouldn't be any seats left. And there's probably 100 or so that are up in the stands. There's a lot of people standing around. If you walk around, you see me walking around. There's a lot of people looking at bikes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys right over here out this window where I was at earlier. They have all these bikes. Like I said, just that one area I showed you all those bikes up there on that staircase standing. There's still bikes everywhere else. They got all the bikes around the outside here. They're selling. They got a whole floor up here full of bikes up here.
Yep.
But
I said, yep.
so yeah, but it's just, to me, it's neat to come here and just see all the different bikes that you see. And you know, when you're thinking about buying something, it kind of gives you an idea. You know, you probably could get bikes at a better price than what they're selling here. But to be able to come in and actually, you know, you could, like I say, if you got here on Tuesday and the auction's not till Saturday, the bike you're going to buy, you got all week, you know, almost a whole week to sit around and look at it and check this out. You know, maybe you can get a hold of the owner and ask some questions and things like that. So you have a little bit, maybe a better understanding than you just going to somebody's, you know, finding something on eBay or something on Marketplace and you go check it out real quick and you buy it. So some of these come out of people's collections and stuff, so that's kind of neat. You know, if it kind of has a little bit like the David Mann bike. You know, you get something that he actually took a picture next to it. If you go on to David Mann, there's a Facebook page. That bike's actually on there with some of the people. David Mann, I think, is standing next to it with the guy that bought it or built it. I'm not sure who. No one's David Mann, but I don't know who the other guy is. And so it's kind of neat. And
But it might be like Williams Motor Company that
just makes them.
Yep. He takes the picture and makes the bike.
Yeah. So kind of neat. And so yeah, pretty exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like I say, the David Mann show that they have out in California, it's going to be, it's either the 18th, it's on Monday, Saturday in February. They're probably going to be gone. They have another big convention here for the motorcycle, more of the off-road bikes and stuff, venture bikes. It's going to be here at the convention center. It's like the 18th night. Well, it actually starts Thursday and goes till Sunday or something. And that's going on that same weekend. So we're figuring we're probably going to be gone.
Thank you.
And won't be able to see that. So, like I said, there's a lot of things going on. We just don't have enough time to cover everything. And so that's one of the things where, like, next year we may not do a lot of the East Coast rallies and maybe try to cover some more different things. One, do some more stuff in the shop, and then do some more stuff that's around here. Because like David Mann, I had no idea. And it was George told us about that. I had no idea. We even lived in California for almost 20 years. I never heard that they had a bike thing up there. Never.
Oh, before
I mean, it's only one
you didn't really
day,
know
but
who David Mann was, did you?
Probably not. I've seen the pictures, but I probably didn't realize that's
that's who it was or what it was.
He painted them or drew them or whatever. Kind of neat. But yeah, it's going to get more and more crowded. I mean, you know, there's probably going to be twice because right now there's probably triple, maybe quadruple the people that were here yesterday.
Yeah. A lot more people.
Yeah, and then probably, like I say, when it gets to be Friday and Saturday, this place is packed. All the stands will be full. Seats down there are full. People walking around. So yeah, that's why they probably hold a lot of the, you know, like the AC/DC bike, a lot of that stuff go. That's why I said I couldn't believe that David Mann's selling tomorrow. That why they wouldn't push that off on. Or maybe they didn't realize when they put it in the auction what it was, that it would, you know, that somebody would want that bike. So like I say, we're going to try to be here tomorrow. I'll look and see what number it is. And we'll try to figure out when it's going to be sold, and we'll try to be here tomorrow to check that out and see what it sells for.
I guess I took a screenshot of it when you did it, but I don't know if I.
Well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a video I wanted to do it today, and we spent too much time this morning. Take the big camera, and I was going to talk about some different bikes that are down there. They're kind of nice looking, and then make a video on that. Kind of talking a little bit more about a bike versus just seeing me walk by a bunch of bikes. So, this one person said one bike was really cool. And I'm like, I don't know where that bike was, and I don't even know what kind of bike that was. And for me to go back and find it, but some of that was bikes that were sold yesterday, and they could have picked them up already. There's some of them still down there that says sold, but the people can take them as soon as they pay for them. They can take them now. But if they're online, they got to pay for the shipping and all that. So they'll start. I don't know if they start shipping out now or not. I didn't go
Not
back.
this
We'll see what.
Wonder if we went to see the Pawn Star guys down to their shop
A
yet.
lot of times they don't let us film inside there. Film outside, but not inside. They've been on the road a lot. They're doing a lot more of the Pawn Stars adventures on the road.
Kind of like almost American Pickers. They're out there doing
It's
stuff
kind
like
of
that.
like it's kind of weird. I thought maybe they might have something here, but I mean there could be something here, and I haven't found it yet.
Gary West said I was looking good, and then he says you are too. Bob, did you need a? I don't know. I can't read that. CB50, 750.
You need a CB50. Well, mine wasn't the CB. Mine was the off-road bike. I don't remember what that was called back then. I can't use my phone. I got it on there. Let's see what model I had. I don't even remember what model it was. But I used to get compliments all the time on the bike. I really liked it.
The Honda.
Was it 81?
Yeah.
84.
81.
81. Oops. 81 Honda 750 models. This one. That's even what it looked like. I got pictures at home of it.
It was blue, though, wasn't
It
it?
is blue. See the blue on it? It's dark blue.
Ours was light blue. I thought.
81 CB. I did have a CB. CB 750 custom.
Shook you to death when you were
Oh,
on
it's
it.
chain driven.
Elsinore. Is that what that says?
Elsinore. Elsinore, California?
That's the only Elsinore we know. Lake Elsinore.
Yeah, that was pretty much what it looked like. A lot of compliments for that bike. Used to have it in the back of my pickup truck. I hold it down back and forth from Chicago to Southern Illinois, from Southern Illinois back to Chicago. Put it in the back of my truck. It was a pretty good bike. I liked it, but I mean,
SL 350.
No.
No. It was 750. CB 750, I guess.
There was another picture of it. Pretty much like that. That's not my bike. I got a picture somewhere at home of it. I didn't ride it a lot. It was chain driven. We used to ride it up to Chicago. We lived about 50, 75 miles from Chicago. We took it up there quite a few times. Northern Illinois, headed down in Southern Illinois. I bought it up in Northern Illinois.
It was a Honda bike, Elsinore, they believe. Never heard of that one.
Well, they make some every year. They come out with different editions and stuff like that, and it is tough to keep up with that if you're not really looking at a lot of the bikes and keeping up with all the different brands and
There
names.
was a bike called Elsinore, they said. All right. Wow.
The most of the bikes that I knew when I was a kid was, they had Kawasaki's and they had Yamahas and seen a few BMWs. I don't remember seeing any Triumphs. Lots of Hondas. A lot of my friends had Hondas. One of my friends even had, both brothers had the Honda Automatics.
Fast bike. It was a very fast bike, that bike we had.
It was pretty quick. Didn't have a lot of high-end speeds,
Scrambler.
but
Long time ago. Scrambler, a Honda Scrambler.
yeah, yep, I've heard of Scrambler. She was going to get a Rebel was going to be her first bike, and then I figured out it wouldn't run over like 45 miles an hour on the highway. So it's like, you don't want that. And then the guy over there smoking a cigar. So how many people we got on? Maybe we'll end it up.
23.
I'd say mine. All right, we'll go ahead and end it up. It's getting a little smoky, so we're going to go ahead and end it up here today. And
The Mecum Auction.
yep, at the Mecum Auction. It's pretty neat. We'll have a lot more stuff. Not going to have a video come out tomorrow morning. We'll do the live. If all goes well, we'll probably do a live tomorrow around the same time. And maybe we can find a place here that we can set up that we can see the auctions. They got speakers all over the place. So unless maybe down by, because I was thinking maybe down there where all the bikes are sitting at in the big area, it's not too loud down there. We can get them to put a table down there for us. That would be a pretty good place, but you wouldn't be able to see the auction anymore. You'd be able to see all the bikes that are sitting there. So at that, I guess we'll leave them.
Yep. So thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope you enjoyed the Mecum auction. You can see it on TV on Motor Trend, or
On Friday and
they say
Saturday.
they have a YouTube channel too. So I don't know, Mecum.com. You have to go in there and check it out. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share it with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye, Rod. And I can't read without my glasses on.
That anybody had a
Honda
had a
Pacific
Honda
Coast.
Pacific
Very
Coast.
cool. Not my thing though, but cool. Later.
elbow
Night.
cough.
Yes.
You must have coughed in your elbow.
Crazy. See y'all. Alrighty.
See ya.
Bye-bye.